Water is a precious commodity. Therefore, its utilization and management must be of greater importance to all. In this light, the National Water Resources Management Agency (NWRMA) was established as a company under the Ministry of Water Resources through an Act of Parliament in 2017 to regulate and manage natural water resources in the country and serve as a source of information for water businesses, especially for researchers, students, and tourists.
When we took office last year, myself and the President had a long discussion on the viability of this agency, and I convinced him that it's one of the best that we could have in this country. Two reasons I gave to him. One is polluter pay principle in the environmental impact assessment are always not really effected on the ground. It's very, very difficult to do a very, very sincere environmental impact assessment, and the mitigating plans are not implemented. So the Water Resources Management Agency is one instrument or one agency we can use to make sure that our water catchment areas are protected, our water resources are protected.
Water resources of Sierra Leone should be managed in order for Sierra Leoneans now and in the future to have access to the water resources owned by government, with key of its mandate being the registration of all water users who extract water through mechanical means such as borehole drillers, commercial users, mining companies, and aquaculture. It also regulates dams.
Our mandate basically is to see how we can regulate and to manage all water resources in this country, be it in surface water, be it in groundwater, as well as in the sea. But that's our mandate, literally. But there are so many competing users. It's our responsibility to see how we can allocate this water among them so that there are no conflicting issues. In Sawako and NWRMA Valley, they are responsible to provide potable water. In other words, they treat the water and they sell it to the public. Even Sawako and NWRMA Valley, they are now, as per our act, they are supposed to come to us, to the agency, to buy the water that they are going to treat and sell to the people. So the difference between us is that we are regulating them. So it's like they now come to us to regulate them, and they buy the water from us, the raw water, they treat it and sell it to the people. So it's actually, that is the difference. But many times people may want to confuse it because they don't have a name, water company or water agency. But that's actually.
For us to have access to clean water, the agency manages the water quality and monitors its level. The NWRMA is the sole required body that issue permits to commercial users, which can be obtained through payment of fees, thus making it the only empowered body by government to issue water rights to users. Failing to adhere to these conditions would warrant the National Water Resources Management Agency to withdraw permits already issued, as the agency has the power to prosecute defaulters.
Obtaining the permit from the agency is so important because it is only the agency that is given the sole mandate by the government to grant the same. You know, when you have the permit, it gives you the legal entitlement to deal with water within the law. You know, if you fail to take out permits, it goes against the law, and there are punishments available in the act for that. You know, I encourage everyone to comply with what the government has decided, because this is a focus to development and it intends to be sustainable. And until all of you come on board, we will find it very, very difficult to make sure we achieve this goal.
The planning department is critical to the operations of the National Water Resources Management Agency, as it also deals with research and operations. Director of Planning affirms.
The department that I head is responsible for all water planning, research in respect with the work that we do at the agency, which is Water Resources Management Agency, and policies are also part of this department, as well as ensuring that operations are going smoothly. Part of the planning process that we do The business that we're in is regulating and managing the water resources of Sierra Leone. But in order to get that right, we need to plan ourselves. And one of the things that we do under the planning department is to ensure that water rights permits and drilling license are issued, because we don't want people to be just using the water in an uncontrolled manner. So we have to make plans and put efficient plans in place that each of our users for the raw water are well managed. Another thing that we do also in the planning department is to ensure that projects are developed and implemented well.
Another key department at the agency is that of hydrological services, with Mohammed Sajwana as its head.
The Hydrological Services Department, as part of the strategic leadership of the agency, is responsible for the collection, processing and analysis of hydrological, hydrogeological, water quality and other environmental information associated with the management of both surface and groundwater resources. So in doing so, the department will ensure the operation of hydrological monitoring stations across the country. And these hydrological monitoring stations will enable us to have information on water levels, and also enable us to determine discharge or flow measurement of our river basins. And also the department will also be responsible for watershed modeling, and also give us, in order to have information on the hydraulic analysis of our rivers, streams, reservoirs, dams, etc., etc.
With the enthusiasm of working effectively and yielding positive outcomes at the Water Resources Management Agency, a 5-year strategic development plan was launched in July 2019 at the conference hall of the Ministry of Finance at Judgment.
And I want to successfully launch the National Water Resource Management Agency 5-year strategic development plan.
Of the strategic development plan or the SDP. One is to give us a clear roadmap as to how we want to achieve our vision. 2 is to provide sustainable solutions for the efficient management and regulation of the country's water resources. We are saying sustainable solutions because sustainability does not only include the present generation. It also goes further to cater for later generation. So that's why we believe that this SDP will provide those sustainable solutions in the management of our country's resources. We have competing users like the agricultural company, Dangote Mobile is represented here, the MPs here, we have Salwaku represented here, you have mining companies, you have agricultural companies. All these are competing users for the water resources we have in this country. Now, it is our purpose, our mandate to regulate them. Otherwise, as in the past, everybody will do what they like, and the depletion of our water resources will continue.
As water is considered life and also a right to be enjoyed by all, the National Water Resources Management Agency pledges its commitment in ensuring that water is properly managed, regulated, and enjoyed by Sierra Leoneans.